Hello, everyone. Welcome to another IAPC&M MasterClass. Today, Remi Pearson is providing us with one additional class by way of a full demonstration of the coaching philosophy she had developed over the years. This is a bonus class and for 1.5 hours. And 1 hour will be dedicated to coaching demo and 30 minutes to ask questions and exchange ideas. I'm your masterclass host, Elena Nedeva. Please listen to the following housekeeping information. This session is recorded and live streamed, and please keep yourselves on mute to help us ensure quality of the recording. And now, without further ado, I'm delighted to pass the microphone to Remi. Remi, the floor is yours, and thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So welcome, everybody. It's so great to see you. Who was on the masterclass that I've run? This is the unofficial add-on. Was anybody at the previous ones that I was doing? Yeah, good. So some of you were, some of you weren't. Which is going to be interesting because I'm about to do a live demonstration of a philosophy that I took 4 classes to teach. So we're just going to need to accept, if that's okay, that we're all at different stages of our awareness around what I'm doing. Is that cool with everyone? That we're going to have to be really extend a lot of grace to ourselves, that some of this won't make sense to some of us. Some of us are quite new to coaching, so it's going to seem that's coaching. Is it cool that we can just be really extend a lot of grace to ourselves about what we do know and what we don't know, what seems familiar, what seems unfamiliar? Is that cool with everyone? Can I get a little bit of go a little nuts? Let's get the screen shaking. Good on you. I love it. I appreciate your participation. So I'm going to do a demonstration, which means I need to pick someone. And I'm not picking someone based on anything personal other than, is it going to be a demonstration of the philosophy of coaching that I've developed? If it fits, I will. If it doesn't, I won't. Is that cool with everybody? So it's not personal if I say, no, I'm not going to coach that. It's not because I don't want to coach you. It's just I need to be able to do a demonstration of the thing I've been invited here to demonstrate. I'm going to turn my chat on so I can see what you're saying. Yeah, great. Okay, that sounds amazing. Thank you for the chat. So a couple of suggestions. Please, if you're not the person I'm going to work with, you stay on mute the whole time. Do not interrupt. You'll see what a mama bear does if you interrupt one of my clients. I get pretty fierce, as you can imagine, but test it. Chat is welcome, but one of my rules around live demonstrations is the chat can only be directed about what I'm doing. Please do not encourage, offer empathy, offer anything to the client. I am working with the client. Is everyone cool with that requirement? In my school, it's a non-negotiable. I do not want to see if it's a heartfelt moment. You've got this, Jack, you can do it. It's not up to you to decide if they can do it. Is that cool? That's complete projection. And it is not a reasonable projection. So it is up to the client to come to a realization to accept the invitation or not. Is everyone cool with that? No comments like that happened to me. It's just not about you. So be invisible in this process, and we're going to make it all about the client, but the comments can be directed towards me in terms of questions. Just keep it really respectful, because I don't want the client to be thrown off thinking, oh, why are they asking Remi that? Is there something I've missed? But if you've got questions, please type them and then copy them, because I won't answer them during the coaching, but I do want to answer your questions for sure. So is everyone okay with all of those, my requirements for doing a demonstration? Yeah. Anyone not feeling that's reasonable, or feels they have a different view, or thinks that somehow that doesn't apply to them? I'm extremely ferocious when it comes to working with a client live. I am their protector during the session. So, and that's maybe part of the philosophy to adopt. If you're hearing me say that and that seems strange to you, maybe adopt it as part of your philosophy. So now I need to find someone to work with. So I'm going to be demonstrating my philosophy of coaching. Is there someone who would enjoy being coached? The requirement is it needs to be something like we had, I actually wish it was the same ladies we had last time, because I would have just picked up that session and flown with that. But something like someone isn't doing something, or you think someone needs to be different, or situation needs to be different, or there's an external something that you think's the cause of what's going on for you. So with that said, we're going to need a coaching demonstration. So is there someone who would like to experience coaching? Hey, I think it's Katerina. Nothing wrong with my eyes. Could you come off mute for a moment, please?
Yes. Hello.
Hi.
I volunteer.
And could you share a little bit, just, and again, it's not going to be personal if I don't work with you. I just want to make sure
Yeah.
it's something that's going to demonstrate literally what I've been teaching.
Okay. So based on what you said, that would be useful to use for this coaching session. My son has ADHD, so a lot of energy, a lot of,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's just overwhelming. And as he's my teacher, he gets
It's
out
all
of
good.
me.
It's perfect. I can do it. Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So,
Absolutely.
so,
Yes.
so he brings not nice things out of me.
Don't give me any more. I'll decide the
Okay.
content. I've said yes, like fully, wholeheartedly,
Okay.
yes. I would
Good.
love to work with you, and I really appreciate you putting your hand up. So I'll just reiterate, everybody else, please stay on mute. Comments do not get directed towards the client. They can be questions directed towards me, but make sure you copy them, because I won't be answering them. And no encouragement, empathy, or anything sent to the client. I've got this. The client and I are going to work together, and she doesn't need any cheer squad. Is that cool with everybody? And I'm doing that for you, Katrina, because I don't want you feeling in any way that you're going to be influenced by what other people think you are meant to be thinking, feeling, or experiencing right now. It's all about you. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Great. So have you been coached before?
Yes.
Yeah. And what's the experience like for you?
I have been coached by different types of coaches. So I also had an NLP coach. I had a coach that used kind of NLP approach, but also other methods. It's
So I'm just going
always
to interrupt you.
interesting.
You're describing there. My question was, what was the experience like for you?
For me, it's always a nice experience because it allows me to get deeper inside me and get to know myself better. So I always appreciate being coached.
Okay, great.
I'm
Thank you.
coach myself, so
Yeah,
I
great.
have it from the other side.
Okay. And are you open to this coaching experience? How does
Yes,
this sit
very
with
much.
you? Yeah. All right. Wonderful. And this is real for you that you're bringing.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yes.
appreciate that so much. I appreciate you. A couple of things. There's nothing to prove. Just be you, bring you. You don't have to get anything right with me. You couldn't possibly get anything wrong. Whatever appears is welcome in the space. And
Okay.
in fact, trying to be a certain way would get in the way of me being able to serve you. So just bring whatever you want to bring, if that works for you. That's the invitation from me.
Yeah, thank you. I'm aware of all this, so it's not
Yeah.
worth pretending anything. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. It's so important for me to say, though, so you know that I'm aware of the sacredness of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Is there any questions before we roll further into this?
No, I just surrender and be in a flow.
That's wonderful. That's really wonderful. I really appreciate you. That's lovely. So, you mentioned just before we began what this could be about, and I love that. I can see your clarity around that, and I get a sense of why this may be important to you. But let me get really clear for my sake. Could you perhaps be invited here to, as best you can, articulate why this matters to you right now? Just for my sake, so I can get a sense of where you're coming from.
Because I love my son and I want to support him and help him and do not want to overwhelm him with my internal um mess and my issues, which are up to me to resolve. He has nothing to do with that. So he needs to have a strong mom, centered and
Mm.
in a good shape, and not to have his ADHD and mom that cannot sometimes maybe have control over emotions or reactions or this type of thing. So yeah,
Mm.
it's because I love him so much. So I would like to
Yeah.
get some help.
Okay. And you mentioned you've been coached in the NLP style before, which brings to mind a particular question. Have you ever loved somebody and also been out of control?
Yes, sure. I
Yeah.
know that one does not exclude the other, but I
Yeah.
just don't like my reactions sometimes. Even
Yeah.
if I understand that they might be justified because he really pushes to the last moment, but still, yeah,
Mm.
there is a work to do for me. So
Yeah. So I heard why you would do it in terms of loving him. And I asked you a question for a reason. So my question was, have you ever loved somebody and been out of control? So if I may, if we can pretend we've been together for 20 years and we're
okay.
and we're well into this, I'd be curious to know what's the reason you would want something to be different for you, because love has already been established as a given. The complex equivalent clearly is I can be out of control and still love my son at the same time. So love is not the reason why you want to change this. So why are we doing this? Did you follow what I just did?
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh, it's true that each time I'm losing the control over my reactions, which happens mostly with him, um, it costs me a lot of energy. So I feel drained.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, it has something to do with the management of my own energy. And yeah, I'm naturally a curious person, so I always seek for ways to do things better or become a better person or see if I can manage situations in a different way.
Mm-hmm. Can we dive in?
Let's do it.
I love that. I love that. I love it so much. I love that so much. So the first reason was for your love of him, and the second reason was because you expect more of yourself. Isn't that interesting? What's coming up for you when you hear that? Like, one's about love when it's about someone else. For you, not so much. It's more about I have higher expectations of myself.
Well, it's the expectation, but as I said before, it costs me a lot of energy and I feel drained afterwards.
Yeah.
And I think that if I improve this, um, it is also in a certain way showing love towards myself. So it's not that far away
Mm.
from
I
love
love that.
as such. Yeah, so it's love towards my son and it's love also towards me, I guess.
Yeah. So mindful is an audience of people I don't know, and we have not coached together before, but I'm just going to come from the place that we have and trust that we've been brought together by some divine set of cards. And I'm just going to call you out a little bit, and you can push back and tell me to fuck off all you want. And for you had clarity around its love for your son, and for you it was love, I guess. And I'm just like,
Mhm,
I'm calling you out.
mhm.
For you, it's I love, I guess. Your energy and your tone around your sun is warmth and kinesthetic, and the language around yourself is auditory digital, tight and mechanical. Have you noticed the difference? And your face now as well.
Can you repeat that once again, please?
Yeah, not the same way.
Okay, in a different way, it doesn't matter.
Your language around your son, you had clarity and it was one note and it was love for my son. For you, there was a lot more words. It was more analytical and it was, I guess, around the love. The energy for love for your son was vibration and the love for you was not the same vibration or the same something. Are you sensing that too? Can you be in touch with the difference?
I can, and basically I try to explain you because I had the impression that maybe this element of love towards myself has been just missed, you know, that you want me really just to work on my reactions. But
No,
actually, it was not just the reactions, it was what is behind, you know, that I really feel to be drained.
Yes, yes, I hear
Yeah,
that.
and hand in hand with that, I must say that each time I overreact, apart from the fact that I feel really drained, I feel also disappointed, you know, about myself that I did it again. And yeah, so it's more elements in there.
Okay, so let's just breathe for that for a moment and give that some space. And I just want you to know that I see you and I can hear that in your voice, the disappointment you feel and and how you feel drained. So I'm going to ask you a direct question. Is there love there for you?
There is, of course.
Not of course.
Okay,
It's a
there
very
is.
rare human being that says, yes, I love myself. We give love easily to others, confetti, but love for self, there's so much self-judgment there. There's so many layers of disappointment in ourselves. To find our love within ourselves so easily, that's a rare thing.
Okay. No, I feel love towards myself.
Okay, great.
It took me years, but
Yeah. So are we doing this for your son or are we doing this for you?
Can I say both?
You can start there for sure.
It's for our, yeah, it's for both, I would say, starting with me.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if this was only for you, what comes up for you?
It would be okay, but I think due to the fact that he's the way he is, he really presses this button inside me. So it's him who gets all this to resurface, you know?
And if it wasn't him, it would be something else because this is going to be surfaced within you one way or the other. It just happens to be your son is the vehicle to be your spiritual guide because it just as easily been something else. So is this really about your son or is this really about you? Because the triggers are there, he's simply exposing them.
Yes, that's right. That's what I try to say. Yes, he's the one who makes it all resurface. Because there might be other occasions, but they are not that often because, yeah, I live with my family, so it's family members who are the most, who are the biggest teachers.
Mm.
Yeah, and due to the fact that we are together every day, of course, there are much more opportunities, I would say, for self-reflection. So I don't know if that answers the question you
No,
asked.
no, but I loved all of it. I'm going
Okay.
to come again. If he is really just a sacred reflection of you,
Mhm.
how is this about him?
Well, it's about me.
Yes.
It's about me. Yes,
So is this coaching for him or for you?
for me. Yeah.
Yeah, let's just sit with that for a moment.
Mm.
What's coming up or floating?
I feel relief.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful.
Actually, we cannot fix someone else, so we always have to start from ourselves. So it's clear.
Yeah. I'm here with you and I see you and it's a big thing. And I'm just going to reiterate it because it's sometimes worth, if you know NLP, revisiting a new record track, isn't it? It's just worth, yeah. Perhaps another way to consider this is he planted the seed and it's up to you how you grow the tree.
That's right.
Yeah. But it's not his tree, honey. He just planted it. It's yours.
Yes. Yeah. Which is a good thing, right? Because then I can
Yes.
do something about that.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes. Yeah. Would you mind, can I be invited to look at it a third way, just to allow different reflections of this core idea? Would that be okay, my darling?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for inviting me in so fully. I'm so grateful to you. As long as it was about him, what didn't you have to do?
What I didn't have to do?
Yeah.
What I didn't have to do.
Yeah.
To bring this up today, or in what sense? I'm not sure I understand the
No.
question.
It may be you do understand the question and you don't have an answer, and that's okay. I didn't have an answer planned for you. I just asked you a really cool question and let's see what happens. I've no fucking idea where we're going.
Okay.
Yeah, so if it was never about him, but you made it about him, what did that mean you didn't need to deal with?
Um, well, what comes up, but this is really said in a silly way, it's like use him as an excuse, but I didn't use him and he's not my excuse. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
I wouldn't need a vehicle to,
Yeah.
yeah, using your
Yeah.
words.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You are a very insightful woman.
thank you.
Mm. I'm just enjoying you for a moment, if that's okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Just being with you. Can we look at it a fourth way?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. This was never about love for your son. I'm just going to say it and see what comes up.
Well, I felt a little bit of resistance,
Yeah.
but when I just allowed your words land, basically there is nothing to argue about. It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's really true.
Yeah. Let's just create some spaciousness for that. That in no way was this about your son.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm. Hey. And how does it sit with you, feel? How do you perceive that this is really all for you? That every single moment has dominoed to this moment that is just a gift for you. Do you have the space for that?
I perceive it as a gift.
Yeah.
And
For you. It's not just
for
a
me.
gift, full stop. It's a gift for you.
No. I perceive it as a gift for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually it feels very good.
Mm.
It feels really good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Your energy, have you noticed the shift in your energy?
Yeah, I feel much more calm.
Yeah.
And I could even say empowered, as I know that it's about me and it starts and ends in me and with me.
Yeah.
It gives a lot of empowerment over, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Whatever
Yeah.
that mirror is today.
Yes. That's right.
Wow, that's beautiful. Can we go deeper?
Let's try.
May we? I don't.
Yes.
Let's not try. Shall we just go deeper? You're very
Let's go.
insightful and in tuned. You're very attuned. I'm keeping up with you. So if I could be invited to go to another level down, deeper, that would be really lovely.
I invite you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's really lovely of you. I wish I was with you right now, as in the building with you, and we had proximity and just that whole eye contact thing. And yeah, I'm really feeling it. Okay, so with the space and the grace that has just been created for you, and I want to ask this question gently, but also in a pointed way. What do you know? My apologies. There is an invitation here for you to let go of control of something. I don't have the answer. It's not a test. Just intuitively, what comes up for you as you dance with that possibility that this wasn't about love, but about control?
That could be an option.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was it you were trying to fix?
What comes up? I mean, there are several things. So when I get back to some of these situations, it's mostly under time pressure. So morning, let's get into school in time. So it's this time pressure, and then let's say when it's evening, it's also time pressure combined with that. Could I articulate this? That if things will not be in a certain way, it could be bad for my son, and at the same time also for me, meaning, and I will repeat it again, it's about energy. I am really very exhausted in the evening, and him pushing away the moment when he needs to go to bed increases the tension inside me, because I would really like to just exhale and take a little bit of moment for myself, just, before I go to bed. I'm not able to get back directly from the kitchen, for example, or from cooking or something. I need some transition time. And when he stays up too long, first of all, he wakes up very early, so he will be even more disturbed.
Hey, Katrina. It's all good.
Yeah.
Do you remember the question?
Yeah. And second, it's my energy.
So you're
I
trying to
feel very
control.
depleted.
So the question was, what is it you think you're trying to control?
What is it that I try to control? My energy.
I'm sensing something another level here. Can we stay with this if that's okay?
Yes.
Yeah. I'll ask you a direct question. Do you judge your overwhelm?
If I judge my overwhelm,
Do you?
Question popped up. In which way? I mean,
The start of the conversation, I have love for my son, but I feel overwhelmed and I don't want to feel the overwhelm. I want you to coach me basically to not feel overwhelmed. So I'm asking, do you make your overwhelm wrong?
no, I actually think that it's natural to feel overwhelmed with everything I plan for myself.
Do you get tense when you feel overwhelmed?
Yes.
Okay, that's where we're going to go in. And this is the philosophy that I want to demonstrate. So everything till now has just been guiding principles to create some space for this to be all about you and nothing else. And so the tension is the discomfort with your own, whatever that is at the moment. We might call it overwhelm, whatever. Does that make sense? I don't want to say too much.
Yes, a lot of sense. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So the overwhelm isn't the problem, and you're aware that overwhelm is normal and deserved. Absolutely. Your tension around the overwhelm, I'm wondering how you feel about that. And I don't think you thought about this before. Could you consider how you feel about the tension about your overwhelm?
Yeah, the tension is not comfortable at all, and yeah, it just fills my entire chest.
Perfect. You are so
to the
insightful
throat.
about yourself. You're phenomenal.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let's create some grace and space for that. That
Okay.
is significant. It is uncomfortable to feel the tension about quite normal overwhelm. What is that tension? How would you label that if you had a descriptor for it?
Okay, so the tension is a ball that is placed just inside my chest.
Yes.
The ball is growing,
Yeah.
feels heavy.
Yeah.
Um,
What does it feel like?
what do you mean?
Does it, I don't want to give it a word. Does it feel like an emotion? Does it, other than heavy, is heavy the descriptor? Does it feel,
I feel suffocating.
I love that. Thank you. Wonderful. And what do you think about feeling suffocating?
Well, when someone suffocates, then it's getting to the end of the life.
Wow.
So
Ooh,
it's threatening, actually.
that is really, that is, your language is superb. It is threatening. It's survival stuff, isn't it?
It is.
Wow. So the overwhelm you have grace and space for because you know it's normal. Yet there is a meaning you give the overwhelm, which is about survival and is very threatening. No wonder this feels the way it feels for you. No wonder you brought this to our attention tonight. That makes complete sense to me.
Mm. Yeah, I used to realize the tension, but I never realized it
Yeah.
up to this point
Mm.
that it's a question of survival. But as
That's
you say,
massive.
actually,
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's an aha moment.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I
that's
just got
right.
chills down my spine. Did you just feel, I just got chills. Sometimes my clients feel what I feel. I just got chills down me. It's like, I, I just got it again. Just this
Mm-hmm.
running down my spine. It's massive. No wonder
Mm-hmm.
you feel,
Hello,
and you've
everyone.
brought this. Yeah. So let's just breathe in and create some space for that. Lots of space and grace for this really important sensation that up until now you hadn't tuned into, so it's been denied. And I'm just going to invite it in if that's okay. And maybe if you feel you've got the grace and space to invite in that tension and that survival feeling and create a little space for it. And may I just, you can ask this of it. I'm going to give you the words, and then you can either decide if the tension's going to hear my words or you're going to repeat the words to the tension. I'll let you make that decision about the relationship you want within yourself. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. I'm just going to invite you to allow some space for that tension and notice what happens when you allow some space for it and it becomes a little more welcome than it's ever been before.
It's interesting.
Hmm.
Mm. I'll try to describe it with words. The tension before had a form of a big ball, which was really hard on the surface,
Yeah.
although it was growing. And now when I acknowledged it and I invited it, um, it was like the surface started to, wave it did not have this hard surface anymore, and it has become warmer, and it was like it started to dissolve, you know, in waves. Interesting. I still
Yeah.
feel it, but not in a disturbing way. It's like it's a part of me, but it doesn't make me suffocate anymore.
Yeah. And you've only just met each other. Imagine where we're going to go in the next few minutes. You've just met each other. You're strangers and you're being introduced. It's incredible. You're clearly a very loving human being. To have that amount of grace for this part of you, I love that for you.
Okay.
Is there an invitation for me to invite something else to happen, or would you like to
Yes,
just
please.
be with it? Okay. And if you ever just want to be with it, I'm just going to be with you while you're being with it, and it's all good. And I wonder if you could let this aspect of you know that you're here with it, and introduce yourself, and it's never met you. Yeah. And how do you feel about this wavy, surfacey, circle, soft, warm tension? How do you feel towards it?
Actually, it's pleasant.
That describes it. How do you feel about it?
Mm. It's interesting, but it feels like when you search for something and you don't realize that you have been searching for that, and you just discover it. So yeah, it's surprising, it's pleasant.
How do you feel about it?
I feel a relief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that. Is there room for compassion for this strange part of you that has been alone all this time?
Yes, definitely.
Wonderful. You have a beautiful heart. I wonder how this aspect of you is feeling, receiving compassion for the very first time. Instead of being pushed away and ignored and denied, it's receiving compassion. How beautiful.
It changed colors.
Mm.
It changed temperature,
Yeah.
shape.
Mm. Is there space for me to bring another sentence, or do you just want to be with the change in the shape and the...
We can move forward.
Okay. And don't ever accommodate me, my darling. I'm here to accommodate you. So if you want to put the brakes on, I'm all good just to be with it.
It's
So I'm
okay. We are
very
just together. It's fine.
great. Thank you. Thank you for the clarity. I appreciate the certainty. And I'm wondering if there is space here for you to include and be at peace with feeling that feeling that you're now visiting in the future. So you feel compassion for it now, and there's grace and space for it.
For what kind of feeling?
For that warm, what it was a tense feeling and now it's softened into a warm, ripply, I'm wondering if in a future time you could maintain feeling at peace with whatever this feeling is. It won't always be peaceful or sometimes be tense. Allow yourself the gift of noticing you could feel at peace when this feeling arises again, because now you know each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that will be great.
Mm.
That will be great.
Yeah, it feels soft, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see the softness in you. I can feel it. I love the softness you're giving to yourself right now.
I feel it very strongly in my body.
Yeah, I'm just going to be with you because I can feel the strength. The energy is beautiful. I'm just going to be. And one of my favorite sentences for me when I get uncomfortable or overwhelmed is, can I be at peace with not feeling at peace?
Mm-hmm.
Like, does everything inside of me have to be happy and positive and on all the time? That doesn't sound like love. Can I be at peace with the mess? Can I be at peace with the overwhelm? Can I be at peace with my mess? Just invite that for you now.
It feels really very amazing, and I'm afraid I will not want to leave from here.
Yeah, yes, yes, I love that. I'm going to take a Buddhist phrase. You can always invite it in for a cup of tea into your heart. May I approach with another comment or question? Is there space for that, or should we just be?
There is a space.
Okay. I'm wondering if you can inquire of this ripply, warm, getting your attention part of you, what it needs from you right now.
The first thing that popped up was attention.
Yes.
Attention.
Yeah. Can you do that for it? Can you give it attention?
Yes.
Yeah. It's been neglected for a long time. I'd want attention too. We go deeper? Yeah.
Yes.
In those moments when your son is not complying, I'm using my words very, very deliberately. This is the part that is calling for you. What is it calling for you to notice and attend to within you?
Can you say it again, please?
I can. It's a lot. It's big. I'm just going slowly. Your son will not comply again. He will do the same stuff again. And this part of you that you've been neglecting and didn't even know you had, and now you have a relationship with, it's going to call to you again. What is it asking you to attend to within you?
Is to pay attention, to slow down, to take a deep breath. Yeah, to reconnect with this part of myself.
Yeah. the sense I'm getting is you've revealed your calm centered space. Is that where you are now?
Mm.
Yeah, this is your true self. Hello.
Mhm.
I'm just allowing lots of space and grace. I can see you're doing the same. May I proceed with another comment or question? Is there the space, or should we just be? Yeah? Your son's going to lose his shit very shortly. For some reason, the universe will always send a bigger test. And you may lose touch with this feeling. And I'm wondering if you would rehearse now, guiding yourself back to here, to your truth, to your wholeness, to this calm center that is you. Because he's going to try and pull you away. That's his job.
Really a marvelous place to be.
Yeah.
Mm.
This is, again, I'm just going to keep reiterating, this is you.
Feels
Hello.
good to be me.
Yeah, I love being with you.
Mhm.
I'll say it again. Your son's going to do his best to pull you out of this because he's familiar with a different version. And he will try to keep recreating the other version of you.
Mhm.
And it's worth remembering this is the truth. Even when you lose your way, which you will because we're all human, to know this is always who you are. This is the infinite you.
Mm.
Now we're coming towards, not yet, you're all good. We're coming towards where we need to start thinking about returning and bringing your true self along. Does this aspect of you want to come with you back into this room? Does she want to stay where she is? Does she want to have some buddies around her? Does she want an angel with her or a cuddly toy? Or does she just want to hang out with you and see this new calm you, this infinite you, approach the world? Let it decide. Let that part of you decide.
She wants to stay connected and come back with me.
Wonderful. Perfect. Just bring her back here. And the next time your son doesn't comply. If you can remember, and not all of us do all the time, just remind her, stick by me and behind me. I've got this. Stick by me and behind me. I've got this. And every now and again, she's going to take over because she's been running the show for a long fucking time. And she's going to really want to just step in and do what she does, create that tension in you and all of that. The moment you start feeling it, hey, come next to me. Come by me and behind me. I've got this. And then once you've demonstrated that you've got this, you say to her, see, I've got you. I'm here for you. I'm here with you. Let me love you. Let me protect you. I mean, you won't do that every time. No one ever does. And that's okay. Can you be at peace with not doing that all the time? Do you see? Can I be at peace with not doing it? Can I be at peace with remembering it afterwards? Can I be at peace with remembering it the next day? That's the human experience. And I'll invite you to come on back. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Isn't it beautiful?
It was a beautiful trip.
Yeah, it is.
Mm,
Yeah.
definitely.
Getting to meet our true selves. Hey, you. Mm.
I need to drink a little bit.
Yeah, take care of yourself in every way.
Thank you. It was so
Thank
wonderful.
you. Thank you. Really grateful. Such a privilege. And I recognize that going slow right now is good for your nervous system. If we were to continue to work together, we would work more on just helping you be with your nervous system in this parasympathetic way. Just coming back to this calmness, this gentle self, until it becomes so natural. And from this energy, your son in the beginning will react really badly because mum's different. And eventually, you being more parasympathetic, more often at peace, more often true self, his nervous system will begin to adapt to you. Yeah, instead of you reacting to him, the calmest person in the room, the calmest nervous system always controls the system. So just imagine that we've coached like 30 or 40 times just on generating and maintaining this internal calm, which is the truth of you. And if ever you forget it, my darling, it's always there. It doesn't leave you. You just forget you have access to it. That's all we all do. This is your natural self. We haven't invented you. We didn't create you. We just revealed you. That's it. We just moved some rubble to the side, which was a beautiful, rippled, warm part of you that's come into the now, and allowed space and grace for you. Is everyone getting that? There's no inventing someone. You don't create yourself. You don't make yourself. You just reveal. The essence, this is everyone. Anyone I coach, we are this. All of us are this.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Is there anything else we can bring to this moment that would make it feel even more complete for you?
I cannot think of anything else at the moment. I just feel, yeah, calm, completely calm.
Yeah.
In a peace with myself and with the world. I mean, it's nothing to add.
Nothing to add.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Wonderful. I love
Yeah.
that for you so much. I love that for you so much. It's wonderful. So would it be okay if we now invited everyone to join us with a discussion and open it to Q&A? Are you comfortable with that and remaining here? What would work best for you? We're not going to talk about you. The questions cannot be directed. Any question any of you have for the client comes to me. I am her ferocious lioness. Do not test me on this. I'm here for her. But we can open up to questions if you feel there's the space for that, my darling.
Yes, of course. Of course.
Great. Okay, thank you. Let's open it up. Hello, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for your attentiveness and participation. Who would like to get started? How was that for you, firstly? Before I ask that, let me just share with you, that was the exact demonstration of everything I've taught in every previous class came to life in this demonstration. All of it. From every single point I made, it's there. So if you have the classes and you have this demonstration together, and we might tie up anything that's, there might be any loose threads now. It's literally how I coach, and this is where I coach my clients to recognize that they are love. That's it. Any other goal, and I won't repeat the goal that this client had at the beginning, is not the goal. Doesn't even matter what she said. This is the goal every single time, to know your own love. So how was that for you? So beautiful. Loved it. Thank you, Agnes. That's lovely. I can see you there. Who else would like to comment? Or Maro, you've come off mute, but I still can't hear you, my darling. I can't help you. Yeah, there's no sound.
I would like to comment.
Sorry?
Oh, really? No?
Oh, really? No. I don't know who said that. That was amazing demonstration. One from being a mum of somebody. Yeah, great. You're welcome, Barbara. Can someone come off mute who has sound? That would be awesome. We'll get the questions. Agnes, I can see your hand up. Come on down.
Hello, thank you. That was very beautiful. I loved how it was so focused on wholeness and accepting all parts. And I've looked at IFS myself, and I'm just curious to know if you, Remi, usually go in to work with exiles and go back in time to work with exiles, or if you're very focused on bringing in the self energy and being with the self, like in this
Being
session.
with the self. So I am trained in IFS to a small extent, and also self-taught a lot because I've done hundreds of hours of IFS. What I'm aiming to do is my own technique, which is called the emotional integration technique, which is a piece of IFS that's missing. And what I'm doing, and I won't explain IFS to everybody, that's cool. What I'm doing is focusing on the part that I feel is missing from IFS, which is just help your client know whole self, know their own wholeness. And from that space of wholeness, everything is okay. Like any aspect of me that I didn't accept until now, or I denied until now, is now highly lovable. And of course they're with me. So I just go to that space, as you could see, pretty fast. The other thing I'm doing, which is the coaching aspect, and if you go back through the classes, you'll see this in class 1, I generally have never coached the client on what they ask me to coach them on when their goal is external. inevitably, whatever we believe we need to experience as a different reality outside of us is an aspect of ourselves that we've denied or can't be with. So I just help the client. I just figured out when I worked with this client, so she wants that reality out there to be different. So what aspect of ourselves would we need to be denying to allow needing the outside to be different? And that isn't to say her situation isn't challenging and her son isn't a challenge. That I'm not saying that at all. I have full empathy for that. But the capacity for us to be with a reality that's difficult is limited or expanded by our capacity to be what feels like difficult within us. And if we can be with what's difficult within us with grace and space and love and everything this beautiful client just did, the external softens automatically. So that's the short version of what I'm doing.
Awesome. Love it. Thank you.
Oh, I love it. I just love it. And I love that you dig it. It's just, I love talking about it so much with people who appreciate it. Because I think this is the future of coaching to me. Yeah. Like, who needs another car? Who needs another promotion? Let's help people know their own love. That's what I'm all about. Thank you. Who's next?
Also,
Hey,
just
Patricia.
hello. Just to
Hello.
say thank you, because that was really good to see the step by step. And I was thinking, if you're using the trust model, are you using that? That's what it felt to me like. You were getting her to trust you enough to reveal stuff and talk about get her
Trusting me is inevitable.
to
I've never
moving.
yeah.
You weren't moving from step to step, getting her closer and closer.
Yeah, so you think the trust me model was there? It could be.
Yeah, yeah.
But that wasn't my
You're
focus.
going in. I thought you were going in layers.
Great. Well, if you saw that, then I'll take credit for it and pretend I knew I was doing that, but I didn't know I was doing that.
Yeah.
It really was a demonstration of everything I've been teaching in this series, which is how the client can know their own wholeness in a coaching session.
That was really good. And thank you that you stayed, even though there was only 6 of us.
Oh, well, the numbers got enough and I had a demonstration. It would have been really awkward if nobody wanted to get coached. It's a very short demonstration if no one puts their hand up.
It was worth it. It was really good. Yeah. Thank
I
you.
appreciate that. Meng, you've got your hand up. I loved Maro. I loved the transformation from being, yeah, I won't repeat what you said, but yes, I agree with your comment. Yes. Go ahead. Meng, you're on mute.
Oh, sorry, I did put my hand out just to John Tick. So far, I got no question.
You don't have a question?
Hello.
Okay. It's going to be a short Q&A if no one's got a question. Barbara, you had your hand up? Yeah, come on down.
Here we go. Unmuted myself. Thank you. Thank you again for this, for both of you. That was just a treasure for me today. Very touched.
Yeah.
Question, about intentions. I'm currently on Lynn McTaggart's masterclass for intention setting, right? Lynn McTaggart being the author of The Fields and The Power of 8. And I'm hearing so many intentions there of, people putting every single wants they have there. It's almost kind of the old-fashioned goals would be replaced now with intention, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this somehow, in some cases, it feels right, and I have no doubt about it. But in some cases, I feel internal conflict between the approach that I'm hearing from you and also following myself more to go into emotional space, to find balance, to find inner peace, and not going so much to external. So I'm just sitting with this evolving in myself, I guess.
Good.
Where to put the intention in place, where intentions have a space, and what she's teaching, the 30 keys of intention setting, where does they have the space? And where is it the space really to go deeper with the client with this, where to find the inner peace in the inner sense of fulfilling the needs, right?
Okay.
I didn't pose the question, I just shared my...
Yeah, so the first thing that comes, I'm not familiar with what you're sharing, but the first thing that comes up for me, whenever we have an intention, there's probably an internal need that we need to attend to. So I intend to do well in this meeting, for example, if that's intention. What's the need that needs to be addressed within us that has created that intention? Inevitably, it will come back to a core need, which I covered in previous class. So it will be around whatever, feeling safe, secure, that I matter, connected, that I'm seen and heard and understood. There are needs that must be fulfilled. And if we're not aware of them, they're going to be fulfilled anyway. So intentionality to me is a way of bringing our internal needs, inner needs to life in a real and conscious way, which I think's fantastic. Intentions for the sake of doing well are empty mountains to climb. I really want to do well. Why? Because I really want to do useless. I want to intentionally meet my own need for feeling validated. So when I go into this situation, my focus, my intention is to validate my own experience. That is world class. We are learning how to take care of our own need. It's a clear intention. It's something that's within our control and influence. And it has the beautiful purpose of teaching us more grace and love for ourselves. If we do that enough, eventually being soft and gentle with ourselves become natural. But if the intention is to do well, we're not going to land on gentle. We're not going to land on an inner landscape of beauty and space and grace and love. We're just not going to get there. Got to do well. It doesn't have the power to transcend our pain at all. In fact, most intentions around doing well for the sake of doing well are from a place of lack and fear and self-denial. So I hope that's helped you, just adding a little bit of language around consciousness to intention.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
And
Most
so
of the time when I set an intention, I'm very mindful. Is it part of my old programming just to do well? What's unique about this intention? Like, if it's just to do well, I've done well in thousands of things. Who gives a fuck? Like, really? You're going to do well again? Big deal. Like, what is it beyond doing well that I'm looking to bring to this that is going to make it a deeper, more enriched experience for myself and those around me? And generally now my intention is, how do I make this moment more loving and more authentic? That's pretty well my intention now everywhere I go. Am I being authentic? Is this, and one of my golden rules, Barbara, is it's only love if I'm included. It's only authentic if I'm included. You know, I can be very loving and I'm very giving. It's very natural to me. I'm an overgiver. But if I'm excluded from the love, it ain't love. And that was part of how I was coaching the client. It's like, yeah, it might be love for another, but if you're excluded, it's not love. It's coming from a different energy. Without going into that too much, because I want Katrina to stay stoned and enjoy her happy place. But yeah, that was going on as well. Thanks, Barbara. Is there anything else you want to ask around that, or did that?
No,
answer?
It's clearing out. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Hey, Lynn, how are you?
Wonderful, Remi. This was beyond beautiful. Thank you so much for inviting us to this space. Thank you, Katerina, for allowing it to be present for us. Thank you.
Katrina, what a superb human being.
Absolutely. I think I left the room at some point through the demonstration, because I went into, it's almost like I was being coached, basically. So you'd ask a question, and while Katerina is forming her response, I was in my own zone. It was beautiful at the same time, because I don't even think this is the future of coaching. I believe should be the essence. This should be its, like, this is what coaching should be, and really not what it has been.
No,
and
it's all solution focused and cognitive behavioral coaching. I'm like, that's not coaching. There's no heart in that. There's just more behavioral improvements. Like, we all need to get more improvement. No, improvement implies we need fixing or changing. And that's already the self-judgment, which is the lack of self-love. No one needs improving. Let's just learn how awesome and loving we are in this moment and come from that energy. Thank you for seeing that.
Thank you for showing it. And I imagine that once you get to that place, this is not as a question to you, Katerina, I'm just imagining it for myself, that even your initial challenge, goal, whatever it is, completely shifts. It probably is not even a thing in and of itself. It morphs completely, and I think that's beautiful. And now my question is, how long?
Actually, I want to address that because that's really important. And Katrina's just smiling really beautifully. So Katrina, would you like to address that? And then I will let you know, Lynn and everyone, why I didn't ask about that. But it is okay to ask about that. Katrina, are you comfortable to address that, or you just want to stay in your happy place? Or
No. Let's dive into that. Yeah.
So how is it for you now, the original goal? Do you remember it?
I do remember it, but I look at it in a different way. It's I don't see it as an issue anymore. No.
So generally the client is out of focus with it, doesn't care about it anymore, doesn't know why I'm asking the question, it's no longer relevant.
Yeah.
The relationship, because the neurology and your relationship in your body has changed to it, the relationship to your external world has to have changed with it. Does that make sense, Lynn?
Yeah, 100%.
So that's what happened. Now, the reason I don't ask is I don't want to presume what my client will now do with this experience, because I want her to have her experience. And then I do another coaching session and I'd be so vague with my question. What's important to you today? Why'd you call the meeting? Or like, I would make no assumptions that things are going to be different, going to be same. I just come blank, like nothing happened. And I just like, where you at? What's going on? And let my client drop me into their current narrative and I pick it up from there. So that's why I used to. So coaching, I know a lot about original coaching. What I'm supposed to do is say, so what are your commitments moving forward as a result of this? And what's the action step you're going to move forward to? And how committed out of 10? I know, guys, I've written manuals on this stuff. I don't do it. I want the client neurologically. So firstly, a lot of the work I did with the client was unconscious. Conscious awareness is going to start coming in and new neurological links will be made. Me asking the question immediately just boils it down to answer my question for the conscious relationship versus I'm not going to ask you anything and you go have a conscious experience. Do you? And then we'll talk about it next week or in 2 weeks' time. What was your experience? And then the client neurologically is free to go in any direction versus me deciding with this goal setting question, has everyone got the message on how I feel about that? Like, I'm not going to limit the client to out of 10, how committed. It never would do that to the client. It's literally the antithesis of what I believe this philosophy is meant to be about. Katrina could do anything. And I want her to be free to experience that anything. Not the accountability that I just would never do to her. Do you get this, Lynn, how passionate I feel about this? Okay, so you're committed an 8 out of 10. And so in 2 weeks' time, you're accountable. When you come back, you'd have done X, Y, and Z. I could never imagine in a million years limiting this beautiful, expansive, loving human being to that. How's it seem to you? Does it seem crazy to you after you've experienced this coaching session to do that to her?
For me, it makes it's now I'm bringing it to the conscious, but it's very logical that you do not take that path because, as you said, so much could unfold and come up. The connections she could make could go or come from anywhere. I see that. I appreciate that. And I think you're right. You even asking it could almost muddy it.
That's it.
For lack of a better word. I completely recognize that.
And it's worse than that. If I'd done that to this client or any client, and I never do, I am deciding by the nature of the question the limits of my client's experience. And we have no idea. Yeah, go for it. Of course you can.
Yeah, just by listening to you, I feel like you put a wall just in front of me. So
Yeah.
it feels very limiting. It feels
Yeah.
very even stressful.
Yeah. Well,
Even
fuck that,
stressful.
honey. Throw it out. It's not your stuff. It's the old coaching paradigm. You are not the old coaching paradigm. Throw it away. So that's great feedback. A client would get stressed. The whole point of my philosophy of coaching is to free the client from any paradigm around accountability, commitment. It's more about, I'm going to go explore this new reality that I've created for myself. And it's 3D and it's 360 degrees in every direction. It's brand new terrain. Katrina, I'm undoing the damage.
This feels very good.
Yeah. And it's up to me which direction I go, and it's up to me what I take with me as I go in these directions, and I can change my mind at any point. And my accountability is to nothing except for the pureness of the moment in my heart, and that's enough. And then we'll get together in 2 weeks' time and say, "What's happening? Why'd you call the meeting? Where are we going today?" And my client will drop me into their current narrative, and we'll just pick up that narrative and we'll just do something else with it, and we just roll through pioneering territory like that.
Thanks again. My quick question was, which
Yeah.
is possibly a conscious one. How long would it take to get to the place of being able to carry this approach with clients?
Yeah. I don't know. It just kind of grew. Thank you, Mara. It's a kind comment. The approach is refreshing. It's well, I've chosen to dedicate myself to the exploration of my client's wholeness and true nature. So my fundamental belief is we are love, that any love we have for anyone or anything must include ourselves. Any lack we perceive in ourselves is what we're going to experience in the outer world. So helping my client know their wholeness seems to be the only game in town. So yeah, I've just dedicated myself to helping my clients have a million different experiences of that. And if I was to do like 10 demonstrations, I'd do it differently every time, but ultimately we come to the same place. My client gets really stoned in a really, here's the other thing. If I can just wax on a little bit, is that okay? Can I just like add a little bit yeah, thank you. By coaching this way, we're helping our clients resilience build and for their capacity to handle what happens in the world expand. And that happens because their capacity to handle what happens within has expanded. That is the key to life. We can only handle or have the capacity to handle life to the extent to which we can handle, we have the capacity to handle what's discomforting within us. Katrina and I explored something that was discomforting for her. She expanded her capacity to include it, welcome it, love it, invite it in for tea. It's now part of her and not separate to her, causing her pain. It is simply a signaling system to her now. Her capacity is expanded. So now when situations arise where in the past her capacity was limited because of this part, now this part is with her and integrated with her, her capacity is expanded. So the original goal, how do I handle this, dealt with because I showed Katrina she could be with her. That's all we're ever doing over and over again. Life isn't getting fixed. We're learning to expand our capacity to handle life. That's it. Yeah, so that's my dedication, Lynn. It's to focus on helping my clients expand their capacity for what is rather than resist what is and set goals from that place. That's a really key statement. Most goal setting in coaching is from a place of I'm resisting what is, so I'm going to set a goal to get rid of what I'm resisting. And Katrina had flavors of that earlier, which is why I said yes so rapidly. Resisting life is never going to be a goal, ever. It can never come from a good place. The resistance of what is suffering. That's basic, that's Buddhism. So if we expand our capacity for what is, the suffering is transmuted into love and calm, as you saw.
Thank you.
Yeah.
To me, I'm hearing it's also a sense of being as the
Yes.
coach. It's a being. It's how we're showing up as a coach. And
Yeah.
I guess we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah. I've spoken about this a little bit publicly before. I get asked this a lot. I'm fortunate in that I haven't, for more years than I can count, had any self-consciousness around what's going to happen next. I am so comfortable and prefer the unknown. The known is what would worry me. If I knew where Katrina and I were going to go next, that would concern me, because that would mean I was controlling my client. So the unknown is crucial to this philosophy. Me having no clue where we're going next, how this will unfold. I literally asked the question with no idea. Any ideas I have is me manipulating my client. So I want to be as blank as possible. Whereas I see a lot of other coaches seem to have the goal of, I need to know the next question to ask. I need to know what to do with the... Knowing is hell to me. I do know the client is whole. The client is love. The client has infinite capacity to be with all of them. And that all of them, including the uncomfortable, messy parts, are worthy of their love and compassion, because if love doesn't include them, it's not love. So working with that, and now you're seeing a demonstration of it, that's basically what I know in a coaching session. The rest of it is just asking questions that play with those truths. And if you watch the demonstration again, you'll see how I slowly built towards moving the client towards the truth. It wasn't just dropped on her. There were many stages, many dominoes that had to be tapped to get to that very natural place where Katrina now knows and is familiar with. Yeah, so watch the demo again if you get the opportunity, and just see that's what I knew. I knew the client is love.
Thank you so much, Remi.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, Agnes, how are you?
Hello again. So I'll be quick. I know your time is up. It relates to what you were just saying, actually, with that domino effect and slowly getting it to that point. Maybe my question is a bit too technical, but I'm wondering, like, at what point do you start doing that inner work and go inward with the emotion? So it seems like there were a few steps. First, you kind of got to the point that, okay, now it's all about the client, it's all about love, and then it was the emotion. So, like, when do we...
The turning point is when the client recognizes this is never about their son, the job, the husband, the wife, the whatever. It can't be anything external. There is no way it is possible to coach the external. It's impossible. You cannot coach the world to be different. Waste of time. So all I did was help the client come to the recognition. You just can't. There's nothing to coach. I'm going to coach the world to be kinder to me. Good luck. I'm going to coach myself to be kinder to me. I mean, there's a real difference. So the turning point always is when the client recognizes this is, Katrina said, it's got nothing to do with my son. And that's when I said, now we can begin. That was the moment, because the client came to the recognition and owned it. This is all about me. This has always been about me. This is these things that this client said. This is about me. Of course it is. So, okay, now we can do it. And Katrina, are you comfortable if I say a line I'm going to misquote you, but something you said, and is that cool? And
Go
if
ahead.
I'm saying
Yes,
it and you're not
sure.
comfortable, just tell me to be
No,
quiet.
it's okay.
All right. Well, maybe it is. We'll see. And if it's not, just stop me. forgot what I was going to say. Yeah. The client gave me the clue to this unraveling when they said very early on the feeling of overwhelm. And when you said it, Katrina, your voice was tight and rigid and lacked self-love. You said, you claimed you had love, but you did not say it with love.
Mhm.
And love has space for overwhelm. Overwhelm is welcome. It is fear or a feeling of somehow I'm lacking to ever judge our overwhelm. Now, you said the right words. You said overwhelm is normal, but your relationship to it was a rigid, analytical relationship. That told me it wasn't, you didn't have compassion for your overwhelm. So that became easy. Once we got to the point of, oh, it's about me, great. Now tell me about your relationship with overwhelm. And that, Agnes, is how I knew to drop in. And then her words were, she's a very insightful person. Her word and self-aware. I know it's okay to feel overwhelmed. That's normal. Most people don't say that. Most people say, I shouldn't be overwhelmed. I should be more patient. They have all this judgment. And she didn't. It was fantastic. It's like, so overwhelm isn't where the poor relationship is. There is something within her that is judging the overwhelm. And that's where we found the tension ball. And that's how we got there. Generally, it is not that straightforward. Like clients generally are judging themselves around just feeling the most normal reactions in the world, overwhelm, exhaustion. This is normal stuff. Like the things to normalize with the clients: overwhelm, anxiety, loneliness, guilt, and shame. Normalize that. And loneliness. I think I said it. And sadness. Normalize those and help the client have a healthy relationship with them. And most clients drop into the wholeness that you see.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you.
It is. And I realize I've only done one demonstration. What I loved about doing this extra class is now you've all seen literally everything I've been saying. This is it. And I now wish it had been a series of 5 coaching sessions, but at least we've got one, which we wouldn't have had. So any other comments or questions? Katrina, was that cool what I shared? Does it come
Yes,
to
of course, of course. Yeah,
I want to
no
make sure you
problem.
feel respected. You're the client.
Yeah, but I volunteered for for a demonstration, and
You
yeah,
volunteered for the
okay.
demonstration. You did not volunteer to be disrespected. And I'm here for you ferociously to make sure you feel respected, supported.
I do.
Great.
I do.
Good. Good, good, good.
Yeah.
Any other comments or questions? Mara's typing. Wait for it.
Maybe I would like to ask how you
Yeah.
approach clients who do not realize that basically it's in them and it's not about the external. Because there are many people who will, hardly come to this realization. Then how to approach those?
So I work with one client, and I've got to say it's a fair bit of work, very masculine energy, and he denies it. So the way I help him to get to this is we might do 2 or 3 sessions exploring it intellectually and safely. So neck above, he's very comfortable. So, and then his parts within him that are protecting him start feeling safer and safer and safer with me. And then I'll say, maybe next week we'll go within and see what all of you is thinking about all of this, hear the safe language. We're going to see what you're thinking about this, or let's see what the discussion is within you about this. Very AD, safe language. And then I do the same thing. And we might get close to it, and I generally, like in 21 years, get there every time. I have one client I need to work a little harder. What I can do is a more advanced technique, which I don't have the space to demonstrate, but I'll just explain it for those of you who are really gung-ho. Where a client resists, I ask them, can you feel compassion for that part of you that's resisting? This is you. And they'll say no. Great. Can you feel compassion for the part of you saying no? No. Can you feel compassion for the part of you saying no, that's saying no to being able to be compassionate? And I just keep getting further and further and further dissociated until the client can feel compassion. And now they'll be able to come back to going into self. Compassion's pretty well the key to every lock.
Mhm.
Intellectualization and conceptualization, you'll never get there. Now we're well over time. Hopefully everyone feels satiated and they feel honored and included and had their questions answered. I recognize this is for maybe all of you a new journey. You're welcome. And I acknowledge that. And please be kind with yourselves as you maybe integrate some of this philosophy of coaching into your coaching, which would be a joy for your clients to know their wholeness. Be gentle. If love doesn't include you, it isn't love, my darling. Mara, did you have a question, or are you game to come off mute? You're just giving me the thumbs up. Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much, Remi, for being so generous with your time and this
Thank you, Katrina.
beautiful, empathetic demo. Thank you, Katrina, for volunteering. It has been a wonderful demonstration.
Yeah, thank you. You're amazing. Good woman.
Just a quick reminder, everybody will receive a copy of the recording to their email addresses. And please take care.